I read fanfic for the first time in my life 2 hours ago. Let's talk about it. I've not lived under a rock on the internet. I have heard of fanfiction. I was around for the super Hulakian phase on Tumblr, and I know all about it. I just never partook in it because I thought going into this that fanfic was nothing other than
She overslept, quickly scurrying out of bed. She threw her soft, mousy brown hair up into a messy bun, running down the stairs into her living room, only to see Harry Styles having a threesome with Five Sauce?
I was sure I was gonna fall into the cesspool that is the self-insert buffoonery and people dehumanizing celebrities for their own pleasure. But I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. What I actually found out in this journey is that fanfic writers are kinda cute. Let's start from the beginning. I think the reason I never fell down the fanfic rabbit hole when I was a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old on Tumblr, really showing my age here, is I was never a part of like the big three. I casually watched Doctor Who, but only during the David Tennant era. I never have seen a single episode of Sherlock or Supernatural. And I didn't start watching anime until I was like 14 or 15. At that point, I wasn't gonna be that much of a nerd to read fanfic. I was in some fandoms and I had heard of some infamous fanfics, Dan and Phil, but I had never gone and read them myself. It was just something I thought that I wasn't interested in because I thought it was, and this is not the only time we're going to drop this word in this video, cringe. Which it still is to an extent, but we'll get into that later. I was not a super Hulakian on Tumblr. That was not me. But there was one thing, one single fandom that I was wholeheartedly invested in, and that is sports anime. I love sports anime. And with that being said, we had to narrow it down to which sports anime I was going to choose to deep dive into the world of fanfiction. I narrowed it down to my top 3 contenders, which was very hard. It was Free Iwatobi, Yuri on Ice, and Haikyuu.
Just calm down. I picked the right one in the end. I know what you're thinking. Haikyuu fandom is crazy. I know, I picked it, okay? Calm down. I gotta make the video theatrical.
I narrowed it down based on a couple things, and that is relevancy. The other two that I mentioned, and I know the Yuri on Ice fan clubs are gonna say,
We're getting a movie. The show isn't over.
it's over, besties. It's over. We're not getting Ice Adolescence, okay? So, and Free ended like literally when I was in high school. So I had to go with Haikyuu because literally they just announced that it's getting another season. So it was obviously the right choice. And with that choice, I started rewatching Haikyuu because I have not seen it since I was literally in high school, and I knew that there were literally so many characters and I knew none of their names. Now, I have a friend who casually writes a good fanfic here and then, and they recommended Wattpad. But after logging into my Wattpad account from when I was a kid, now I never read fanfic on Wattpad. I don't think I'm like outing myself as some secret fanfic reader. But I did post a 13 chapter, like 70,000 word lesbian romance novel that featured titles such as Don't Lie, She's Bi. So I saw that, threw up, immediately logged out of Wattpad. Could not. That is cringy, okay? I had heard of a website on my TikTok. I've heard people talk about it on my For You page. So I went over to Ye Whole Land of Holy Fanfic. Archive of Our Own. This was the first time that I ever ventured onto this website, and the first thing that I saw was the immense tagging system. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. I sat on FaceTime with my friend for almost an hour just going through random tags in the Yuri on Ice category and just being like, what does this mean? Yes, embarrassingly enough, I did ask my friend with a straight face, what the hell is dead dove do not eat? And they explained it to me, and I felt like my eyes opened. In that moment, I was like, oh, these people are kind of funny. What's going on here? That's kind of charming. That's funny. I started to have a little respect for the fanfic community. What's my first takeaway? It's so organized. People who write fanfic, or at least the creators of this website, do not take it lightly. From doing my research, people really don't take AO3 or Archive of Our Own lightly, considering they have raised from fan funding hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of dollars to keep their website afloat. And it's not even enough money because I tried to make an account because I was like, if I'm deep diving into this, I need an account. And they said that there was currently 59,930 in line to make an account. They only accept 6,000 people a week. I joined the queue. AO3, if you're watching this. It is safe to say, though, that with that being said, I won't be joining the community of AO3 anytime soon. I will not be dropping a sick 200,000 word Yuri X Victor, you insert, self-insert, dead dove is dead, do not eat fanfic anytime soon. I wasn't ready to jump into Haikyuu just yet because I was still rewatching. But what I did do was jump into various tags of animes that I had seen just to see what was up. What were people writing? What were people doing with these characters that I was familiar with? My friend was watching Yuri on Ice at the time, or should I say rewatching for like the 8th time that week. So, it was interesting to see for the first time in my life because I am not in any anime communities in real life. I don't talk to people about anime in real life besides my one friend. I don't go to conventions really. I don't have friends who watch anime. So I didn't really know how other people saw these characters. Baba! I didn't really know how other people saw these characters that I loved. And it's safe to say that I was shocked. Before really deep diving into this, I thought that fanfic was mostly just smut written between two grown men and then like Harry Styles having a threesome with 5 sauce. Like, I didn't know that people kind of used it as a form of self-expression, if you can even say that. I saw, from reading the description, a fanfic where people wrote Victor from Yuri on Ice as non-binary. I tried to read it. It was so cringy. I couldn't. And I'm not using cringe as like a bad thing. I just personally myself can't handle cringe. I just want to clarify that I'm not saying being non-binary is cringy. Obviously, if you follow me on TikTok, you know that's not what I'm saying. It's just this fic itself was written in a way in which it was unpleasant to read. It had nothing to do with the subject. It had all to do with the author. Okay, thank you. Bye. Don't cancel me. Like, you can be cringy and I will not judge you, but I myself could not handle reading it. But from what I did read and managed to get through, it felt a little projecty. It felt a little bit like the person who was writing it was probably struggling with their identity with being non-binary, and it helped them to write Victor coming out to someone like his partner. That's just what I got from it. It obviously could not be that deep, probably isn't for a lot of people, but it is interesting because I, as a watcher of Yuri on Ice, never would have thought a Victor non-binary. Never. I mean, I watch it and I'm like, they're all gay, but I think everyone does that. After exploring for many, many hours, I decided it was finally time to sit down and pick what fanfic was going to break my fanfic cherry. It was time to pick a fic. I needed it to be good. As an author who has read dozens of books, specifically queer books, because I am an LGBTQ plus author, I knew what I needed. I knew what my main tags needed to be. I had one criteria. It needed to be gay in some way, shape, or form. I didn't care how. Could it be trans? Could it be queer? Could it be gay? Could it be bi? Could it be ace? I didn't care. I just didn't want to read a straight fanfic. I don't know how there would even be a straight fanfic in the Haikyuu fandom, because there's like one girl in that whole show, but it's safe to say that I went on a journey. While I was on FaceTime, I did some light skimming. I wouldn't say I read any of the fanfics that I skimmed through, but let's just say I learned a really important lesson right off the bat is you need to read all of the tags, like thoroughly, before you click on anything. Farting. People write about characters farting. Like, and they're into it. I'm not kink shaming. I just wasn't prepared for Hinata and Kakeyama. Anyways, you have to find the diamond in the rough. For every 100,000 bad fanfics on AO3, there's that one good one. And you have to wade through that because you don't know until you read the last chapter if it's good or not. I did have to lightly skim and I would say read some nonsense before I found an actually good fanfic. But what I found was very different from my usual scope of reading. If I read a bad book, I'm kind of upset afterwards. I've spent hours Now keep in mind, I'm a speed reader, so it's more like 2 hours reading a 400, 500 plus page novel, only for it to be bad. I learned this whole world, these new characters, only for me to be disappointed. Even if I wasted my time reading a bad 1,000, 2,000 word fanfic, I already liked the characters, I already knew the world. I wasted 10 minutes, and I still got a cheeky little fun story out of it, even if the ending was bad and it was full of grammatical mistakes. I don't know, there's something charming about that. After I skimmed through about 12 pages of Haikyuu fanfics and didn't find anyone that I really liked, I'm gonna be honest, I had to take a break. I think me and my friend talking out loud on FaceTime had my little phone machine, hello little government man in my phone, giving me Haikyuu fanfic TikToks, because I saw a TikTok, which I didn't download and I'm regretting now, recommending a 67,000 word Haikyuu fanfic with over 100,000 reads and 12,000 kudos. And I finished reading that about 2 hours ago. So I think I like fan fiction. I'm gonna be honest, it took me a couple trial and errors to find that fanfic. I did fully read a couple before this one and was like, I guess this just isn't for me. I guess I just don't like it, I don't understand. But this one fanfic, I can't tell you if it's good because I'm so new to this. It completely changed my mind. I honestly thought about scrapping this whole video until I read this one, and I quickly learned that just like reading books, you have to find, can I call them an author? Are they called authors? Are fanfic, are they called authors? You have to find an author whose writing style you vibe with, and I guess this person I just vibed with. And clearly so did 100,000 other people. That's probably why it was good, because it's like a famous fic in the Haikyuu fandom. I learned a lot through my journey of reading fanfic for the first time, and I really think I learned more about the writers themselves rather than the community surrounding fanfiction. I mean, I stumbled upon some weird stuff.
I just saw the tag. Thank you. I hate the internet! I hate the internet! It was Death Note. It was Death Note. I didn't click on it. Was that a mistake? Do I need to know what that even entails? It was about L. Dear God, what is the world?
But there was a major turning point that I have failed to mention during this whole thing, and it is another reason why, at the beginning of this video, I stated that I find the idea of fanfiction cute. I used to hold major judgment against people who wrote fanfic. I used to think they were so cringy. I used to think they were weird. I couldn't imagine ever putting so much time and effort into something like that. I mean, as an author myself, I see now that it's slightly hypocritical because these people are just doing what I do, but they're just doing it easier because they don't have to come up with the world and the characters themselves. But I saw a simple 1,000 word Yuri on Ice fanfic about Victor coming home to Yuri playing Animal Crossing on his Nintendo Switch, sitting on the couch in their shared apartment. I read it because I was confused how that took up the span of 1,000 words. It was wordy, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of wordy, but that's not my takeaway from it. I could feel the author's yearning to have that for themselves. I could feel that they were writing this as an outlet for their feelings, that they just wanted to come home to their boyfriend playing Animal Crossing on the couch. And that's so freaking cute, man. Oh my God. The comments on it were also all very sweet. And that leads me into one of my final points into my journey into the world of fanfic. People are very open about what they like on these types of websites. And as someone who is a TikToker, I mean, I have almost 500,000 followers on TikTok. I feel like I can call myself a TikToker. If you did half the stuff or talked about half the stuff that people talk about, at least on my side of TikTok, you would be ripped to shreds. But people are very open about what they like, at least on this website, and I think on Wattpad too. A lot of the tags are so specific, and if you click on any of them, there are thousands of fanfics that include these tags. There are still a lot of these tags that I fully don't understand myself, but if I click, which I was going through random tags just to see what was going on. If you click in a tag and you go to a random fanfic that has like a bit of traction, all of the comments are positive. There is no dislike button on any of these fanfic websites. And the comments are all people openly talking about gender, talking about sexuality, talking about kink, talking about taboo things. Now, I'm not condoning talking about actually taboo things. I'm talking about stuff that you just like wouldn't talk to your parents about, and you probably wouldn't talk to your coworkers about, but you'd probably talk to like your best friend that you've known since like kindergarten about, like that kind of stuff. They're just openly having these happy conversations about it with strangers on the internet in a judgment-free zone, because if they searched up Victor comes out, like Victor non-binary slow burn queer romance on any fanfic website, and they can find people that also are interested in that exact same thing and bond with them in the comments. And I just think that is so cute. It is what Tumblr wished it was. I'm sure there's negativity in the fanfic community. I am sure it's there. I haven't stumbled upon it. But the fact that I didn't instantly stumble upon it, it shows something in and of itself, because if you log on to TikTok for 5 minutes, you're gonna see something that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life, and not in a good way. There are some talented writers who write fanfic, and I can't say I'm gonna join them anytime soon. You're not gonna see me dropping a 200,000 word Yuri on Ice, Victor x Yuri, threesome, gag, smut, fluff, dead dove, do not eat anytime soon. But that's not to say that I'm not gonna pop on over to Wattpad or AO3 whenever I watch a new anime and just check out how people view and love the characters that I oh so love myself. And that was my brief stint into the world of fan fiction. I hope this video wasn't too long and too wordy. I would love to be educated further into your side of fandom in fanfic in the comments down below. I will link the fanfic that made me like fanfic down in the description. I don't want to publicly talk about it in the video because I don't want to put the author on blast. But yeah, I will link it down below if any of you want to give it a good read. And yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, because this is only the third video on my YouTube channel, and I want to make more deep dive commentary videos like this in the future. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.